Hi everyone. Welcome to another of my videos, and today I will be discussing a dear topic, how to build developer communities that drive real impact, and what I've learned for my 4 to 5 years of experience building developer communities and just communities in general, right? So, how to build developer communities that drive real impact. So, let's get into it, shall we? So, yeah, the first thing you would want to do, and it is actually your first step, sort of, in building any developer community, is to define your goals and your audience, right? You need to be clear on, okay, what are my goals for building this developer community? Do I want developers to come and be able to just receive support? Do I want them to be able to just focus on giving feedback? Do I want to just focus on making them feel engaged and just part of a community, right? So defining your goals clearly would translate into, okay, how exactly do I want to build this developer community out? What are the steps I'm going to put in place, and just the structure that you would need. Also, you want to define your audience, right? You are catering to developers, front end developers, back end developers. What kind of developers are you catering to exactly, and what would they like to see in this developer community? So, first, like I have here, you need to be clear on your goals and the community's target audience, including what value it provides. A seamless onboarding experience is critical. Developers should be able to join and gain value easily. That's honestly the most important thing, right? They should be able to join and gain value easily and quickly, as well as integrate your tool into their workflow effortlessly. Then you also want to establish a very strong online presence. At the end of the day, your community needs a home, right? We have so many developer communities these days that are hosted on Discord, Telegram, forums, groups, just and some of them even have these their communities on their platform, right? And some even have some of their communities on Slack. So you just have to have like a dedicated platform or a discussion group where developers can engage, find resources, and ask for support. That's actually really, really key, because again, you want somewhere like a place, a digital home, if you want to call it that, where developers can come to ask for support and just give their feedback. So another thing that is very, very important in driving, or sorry, in building a developer community that will drive real impact, is to have open communication and feedback. Your developer community needs to be very open, and a lot of communication should be ongoing, and you should be able to get like a lot of feedback from the developers that are in your community. In my opinion, I feel like so many developer communities miss it these days, where they have a community and there are no structures or systems in place where developers can actually communicate effectively and give feedback as well. Your community is not just about, oh, okay, there's this new feature, there's this new updates, do this, do that. No, you need to be able to also listen to your developers. What do they want? What are those requests that they are, asking for? Is there support? What are the feedback that they have given, or they are giving, right, when they have finally integrated your product or your tool into their workflow? So having like a structured feedback system in place is going to help you to track developer concerns, pain points, and their future requests. Okay, so having this is really important. There's so many other ways you can, carry out or build out a system for feedback. You could do it in terms of polls. You could do it in terms of maybe having sessions where you gather developers and then it's just for them to come talk about, okay, this is what I'm currently experiencing with the product or the tool. So many other ways, right? So let's move on to the next one I have here, which is to invest in high quality documentation. So developers love tools that just work. Honestly, like we believe that when a tool just works, it makes my work much more easier, right? So as a community, as a product, as a dev tool or whatever, you need to invest in high quality documentation. Developers need clear, concise, and up to date documentation. Is there a get started guide, an overview, code samples, snippets, demos, tutorials, everything that will make that onboarding process very seamless and effortless. So clear and accessible resources should be provided to get started and stay engaged. And I would also even recommend that regularly allow there to be in your community documentation, right? Don't just, I mean, it's fine if developers are already in your community, but also allow them to discuss what can be made better in terms of like documentation, right? And try to invest in those documentation that they have already requested, so that it makes things much more easier for you. So another thing, or the final thing actually that I would want to say, if you are building developer communities, is to track the right metrics. Tracking the right metrics will give you the data that you need that would eventually translate into your next step, your next process, and just building out a cohesive developer ecosystem, right? Because if you're not tracking your metrics, if you're not tracking, okay, this is when things are going wrong, this is what, these are the things that like developers or your developers are actually interacting with much more, you would not have anything to fall back on, right? In a case where your developers are okay, you've had workshops, right? And for example, maybe the workshops, maybe 5 or 10 developers out of a community of 30, for example, joined the workshop. What's the problem? Are they not, is it not okay? Maybe there's not enough information about the workshop. How can you get more people to join the workshop? Is the workshop not even needed, to be honest, right? All of these, just gathering the metric would help you to inform your decisions going forward. So track meaningful metrics such as like engagement levels, the churn rates, like how many people are leaving the community, how many people are joining, and then support queries as well can give insight into your community's health. So all of these, in my opinion, are just some of the things that you can do and implement to actually build a very cohesive developer community that would drive real impact. At the end of the day, we know that communities, or especially developer communities, are like the bedrock. I feel like a lot of developer companies miss out on building a very cohesive developer ecosystem. So yeah, I feel like these are just some of the tips that I have if you're building a developer community. So yeah, in conclusion, the most successful developer communities are not just about the tool. You need to genuinely care about the people that are using them. And developers, they thrive on authenticity, value, and shared impact. So if you want your product to succeed, focus on building for and with your developers. Don't just build for developers. Build with them. Get their feedback. What are they saying? What are their requests? What are their queries? And having a digital home where they can always come to and just drop all of these queries and requests or whatever would make them feel much more connected and loyal to your community or to your product, right? So these are just some of my tips. If you have any other thing you would want me to discuss fully, let me know. If you have other topics around building developer communities or just developer relations as a whole, I would be happy to hear your thoughts. So yeah, thank you very much everyone, and I would see you in my next video.